Good morning. Our Mounted Patrol unit just stormed into the building and is joining us in the PHARRCAST. How are you? ¿Cómo están?
Doing pretty good, Yuri. Thank you for having us over.
Good morning. How are you? Pretty good.
Good morning, folks. Doing great. Thank
Are
you.
you guys always this serious?
No. It's morning, right? We're
Awesome.
waking up.
Barely waking up.
All right, let's start by introduce yourselves to our public.
So I'm Senior Officer Irving Segura.
I'm Officer Soto.
I'm Officer Humberto Salinas.
And together we are
The Mounted
The
Patrol.
Pharr Mounted Patrol.
the Pharr Mounted Patrol. How's everything going?
Pretty good. It's been busy. It's been raining, so a lot to take care of at the stables, but been all over the place in a sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. There's many events that are approaching, but you guys have been very active in our community. You guys were recently out at an event. Can you elaborate that? I believe that was under the Parks and Recreation Department.
Yes, that is correct. Just the other day we were there. They have a summer blash, if I'm correct, is their title of their summer camp. And we were invited over to go and introduce Bruce, Bandit, and Bullseye. And we were there to interact with the kiddos and pretty much have them get to know what it is to be a mounted patrol officer.
Right, and I think that's very unique. We have a mounted patrol unit, 3 horses. What are their names again?
So my officer is named Bandit.
I'm assigned Officer Bullseye.
And I'm assigned to Officer Bruce.
Okay, so 3 Bs.
3 Bs, 3/4 horses.
Awesome. And so for those watching, and this is a serious question, there might be a little confusion, but I think this is time to bring clarification on all the duties and responsibilities under the Mounted Patrol unit.
That is correct. It's not just a pony ride, as many may think. There comes a lot of responsibility within the having horses in part of the city of Pharr. I'll let my guys tell you what we do as a responsibility, but something that we'd like to address is that we still have reasons for the patrol aspect, and our patrol aspect when it comes to the horse is when we're doing community events, it's part of being a part of the community, but we also are there to identify issues and concerns that the community members may have. So the advantages that we have being on the saddle are far beyond being inside a patrol unit. We're able to hear, smell, and see things that you normally wouldn't while driving a car. As we're going through parks, alleyways, canal banks, we're able to assess and address issues as they arise. We still carry our patrol radios. We still are able to communicate within other departments. And we're able to sort of assist those that come across us. So yes, we still do arrest if we have to do, but our sole purpose is community involvement along with ensuring that we're able to assess and address any issues that our community members have.
That's great. And Officer Segura, how long has the Mounted Patrol unit been established here in the city of Pharr?
We started a little bit after 2019. We started with getting our horses, and then from there, getting the property and getting set up. So we had to start from the foundation, and which for the last couple of years has led us to where we're at now, and it's been a work in progress.
And I bet it's a lot of work, a lot of maintenance, and of course, taking care of these 3 beautiful horses. Am I correct? Can you kind of, just take me to a typical day with the Mounted Patrol unit?
Well, I'm not going to take credit for that because the guys could talk too, so we'll put them on the spot.
Okay.
Perfect. We show up every morning, 8 a.m., bright and early. We give the horses their feed and their hay. They eat before we do, and we let them digest their food. While they're eating, we do go ahead and do the dirty work, which is cleaning of the manure and disposing of it properly while they're eating. After that, then we go ahead and let them digest their food and saddle them up and start working them out. And we wait for our supervisor to arrive and wait for his direction to see what area we're going to hit up, patrol, and we just go from there.
Anything you want to
And just to
incorporate?
kind of add to that, it's not just the patrol aspect behind it that we're focusing on too, right? That's why we're having all these events. We want the community to meet us, to know us, be able to approach us, right? We're not serious and, stern. We're very friendly. You guys can come up to us, talk to us. And we get to enjoy the community out there.
And even that, being involved in other events, whether it's with the city of Pharr or neighboring cities, the amount of preparation, right? I believe you have to get up extremely early, get everything ready with the horses, and just be mentally prepared. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
It's funny that you say that because you see us going over to events. Anything that requires a horse takes time. Officer Soto did great in explaining that the first thing he does is we show up and we got to feed our horses and we got to wait for the horses to digest their food before we go about and putting in some work. But just to put one of you guys on the spot, if we have an event at 11 a.m., what time, or let's just say 8 a.m., we would have to show up at
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
5 a.m. and at 5 a.m. we have to do already the feeding, the cleaning, the grooming, the prepping the horses. So there's been a couple of times that we show up and it's 4 a.m.
And they're grumpy? Do they get grumpy?
Well, the horses are happy to eat. It's the officers that may be a little grumpy, right? But no, yeah, there's about a 4 or 5 hour gap before every time that we go out and patrol our horses. Same thing goes into after we go and work our horses out. We got to make sure that our horses actually cool off. So, little cliche, but rule of thumb is that the horses always come first, and the horses will always eat first before we do. The horses will eat dinner before we eat dinner, and the sole responsibility is the horses. That's our partner in a sense.
Absolutely. Well said. Established since 2019 or a little after 2019. And I'm just curious, is there any other cities here in the Valley that have a unit like yours?
No, Pharr, the city of Pharr, it takes pride in being, if one or the only one that I know for sure, excluding obviously our Border Patrol friends and stuff. But for the most part, city of Pharr is, so hence the invites
That's
from
awesome.
other cities. Yeah,
Give yourself a little round of applause.
We encourage other agencies to reach out. Maybe they want to be bringing in a mounted patrol unit to their city. Hey, reach out, and we'll be more than glad to sort of guide you, if that's the right terminology at this point.
Aside from what you do daily, obviously, what really drives you and what you guys are doing day in, day out? What do you really enjoy about this unit and what you bring to the table?
I think we would all have a different answer, but my answer itself would be what we were just doing with Parks and Recs, what you saw with the Raspas, that interaction with our youth is a very important aspect, at least to me. Making sure that the kids or children at this point able to trust law enforcement, come to us instead of run away from us in fear. In law enforcement, we always have parents who say, si te portas mal, le voy a la policía, you know.
Right.
So we try to encourage kids, no, it's
De
the
mi mamá no
opposite.
estés hablando.
Yeah, right. But we try to tell them, no, if you're in trouble, you come to us. So interactions like that are pretty much what in law enforcement for me is the plus, you know, the smiles, the interactions.
Yeah, the connection.
Exactly.
I used to show animals when I was in high school in FFA, so I was around large animals for quite a bit of time. I never thought as a police officer I'd be riding a horse, let alone being paid to ride a horse. I cannot complain not one bit about my job. I love it. I show up to work not thinking it's work. So as long as I love what I do, I can't complain.
And to add on top of all that, it's also the safety aspect behind it, right? Yes, we're there as friendly officers, but we're also there to provide security, safety, whatever needs to be addressed. You know, we're still police officers. We're still going to do our job as we need to. But we want the people to know that, hey, we're good people too. You know, we get along. We have a heart behind the badge. Come talk to us. It's not just about, you know, work. And, well, I've always been an animal lover. So what other better way to have a job where I get to work with an animal, right? So I love it.
And the response from our community has been amazing. How do you feel about that? So much love and support.
I think that's the biggest part of it, the enjoyment aspect of it. We all may have our differences, whether how tax money may be used and so, but the reality is that if you look at things and you see the reaction that our community members have, those that visit or live the city of Pharr, that they are pro the idea of the horses. And for those who have their doubts, I guess something like this is where it's important, right? Because it's not just about showcasing the horse, right? Like I mentioned earlier, it's pretty much the advantages of being on a horse. And those advantages are not just advantages for me. They're advantages for anyone who's visiting or living in the city of Pharr. And that's what we try to look for. So look at it in that sense. So when we saw the support from our community members, I mean, what better way than showing that we're actually doing something that, you know, brings joy to someone else other than ourselves.
Absolutely. I know it's only 3 of you guys now, but is there, conversations on perhaps growing the unit?
Well, as for now, we've been working, as I say, it's a day-by-day function. Let's continue working on what we could control. If later on our administration and our chiefs decide to expand it, by all means, we'll discuss that. But for the time being, I think our main interest is ensuring that we are able to pretty much, like I mentioned in 2019, we started from the foundation. Now we're out to our patrol aspects, and now we're doing more of our community events. And I think that's our objective right now. instead of growth, let's make sure that we perfect what we're working on and what we've been trying to establish.
That's awesome. And it's a fairly new unit, right? So do you think that's also, in part why there's been such a popularity? And by that, I mean the reaction to some of the photos, the feedback from our community. Do you think it's that you guys are getting more involved with our community and it's so new because we're the only unit in the Valley with this component?
I think we all agree. I think that's pretty much the main, quote unquote, not hype to disrespect anyone, but I think that's what it is. I mean, the way that we saw, people reacting on posts and stuff, if anything, it was more of a great, we're here, this is what we're doing. We're promoting our events. We want to make sure that our events are always successful. We were able to help or serve over 300 raspas. It was the first time we had an event. That's where we're headed.
The raspa event was a success. I'm glad you're bringing that up. Total hit. Did you know that this was going to be such a success, such a big success?
Honestly,
we didn't. We
This
didn't
was our
expect it
first
to.
own hosted event, so we just rode with it, and it turned out a very good
successful
event.
And then, of course, the photo gone viral. The photo, I believe, reached, I don't know, over 3 million views. And I'm not talking about the post. I'm talking about that one photo where you guys are standing holding a raspa. And I believe we got 7,000 new followers on Facebook because of that one photo. Like, what's your reaction to that?
well, Facebook is Facebook. Media is my reaction. If anything, Yuri, within our duties that we mentioned, the whole working out, the whole staying fit, it's a mandatory thing. We do a lot of outside work. We don't have the luxury of being inside an office or the AC, so we continuously got to make sure that we ourselves push each other to work out and stuff. But that's not because we're trying to promote anything out of it. It's more about promoting that we're able to complete our responsibilities. But to me, it was more like we're literally just holding a raspa. But,
I know, but we think obviously maybe the way you see it is very different. The way, I see it from a media standpoint, I thought it was pretty amazing because you just never know how the public is going to react to certain posts, right? You have someone take a photo, you post this photo. I don't think anybody was really, ready to see this, but you just kind of have to enjoy the moment, right? I mean, some of the comments were hilarious.
Oh, no.
Let me pull some up.
Oh, no.
I'm going to go there. So I'm pulling one up. It says, "Not me moving to the city of Pharr to support the police department." And that's kind of funny because these are comments from both men and women, right? So you guys are popular with both demographics. But it's quite interesting that somebody that's not even a Pharr resident, is reacting to this photo.
Well, for those, the way that I'm saying it, we're going to be hiring soon. And, we do need both men and female to come and join our force. So,
Absolutely. There
this
you
is
go.
one of the tools that we have, our horses. And if you're intrigued on the horse unit itself, I encourage everybody to just take the time to, when we do post our civil service exam, come and apply. And, hey, before you know, you'll be part of the unit. For those that mean otherwise, all I could say is, we are still friendly. We'll still say hi to you. Obviously, we hold our profession to a high standard. We don't only represent ourselves. We represent the city of Pharr, and the city of Pharr is all about pride, right? And
You guys are so well put together and collected, and you guys know how to respond to every answer.
no, it's not even.
I know
It's
you guys
just
are blushing. You're blushing.
It
but
does make you blush. It does make you feel, good. You read some of the comments and you laugh. I'm not going to say I did.
because we're human,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. But again, I think I've known you for quite some time, and every time that we do an event, as cliche as the answer may be, it's never about the likes. It's always about the outcome.
I love that. I love that. And I don't think you guys are very humble, by the way, and you guys are not bragging about this. But I think it's still interesting because people watching want to know what your reaction was. So I'm sorry, I just have to ask these questions.
Thank you for the love, to the support.
Appreciate it.
Some of the comments, we could tone it down a little bit, right? But that's just me being funny. But at this point, it was honestly Officer Soto was part of my leadership style is that I want both of them to grow. I've always preached to them that, things could happen. Maybe tomorrow I'm not here, and I want them to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. So what I've learned in my going 15 years, I'm trying to make sure that they get as well. and I had tasked both of them to work with the organizing of this event. Obviously, I would be helping out as much as I could. So it was honestly Officer Soto's first time even doing an event. He came from patrol. So seeing the outcome and then having Salinas reach out to his contacts, and thank you to SnowWiz and shout out to SnowWiz. Officer Salinas was able to ensure that we were able to get those raspas donated. So there was no funds spent by the city in any way, right?
Right.
So with that being said, the success aspect before it. So we are grateful because, yes, it received a lot of likes and a lot of attention, but we also liked how other cities maybe could see that that's an opportunity for them to also do something for their community, you know. So that's kudos to the team that I have. You said it yourself. We are a unit. We are a group, and sometimes we have our good days and our bad days, but nonetheless, the job
Like
still gets
everything,
done.
I mean,
Exactly.
you guys are working every day. You guys have to, there's just, you guys become a family, right? That's what happens. Well, I just had to bring that up because I thought that was very interesting. You know, the dynamics of social media. You just never know what's going to break the internet. And you guys broke the internet.
I don't usually blush, but I feel myself really red right now. Right? So.
We just have to say it. We just have to say it. But thank you so much, guys, for being here. Obviously, elaborating on your duties and responsibilities, your passions. The person behind that badge and with the badge on, right? There's still a human wearing that uniform at the end of the day.
Personally, I mean, we want to thank you guys for taking the time to allow us to also showcase what we do, explain to the community what we do. But every time that we have an event, we invite everybody to come by. You know, we're going to have our National Pharr Night Out, which is going to be on Tuesday, August the 5th. You know, we're also going to be out there. We may not be just corralled in one area. We're going to be patrolling, but because we got to make sure that our horses also know work, and we got to patrol the grounds and stuff. But feel free to approach us. Those that live and reside in the city of Pharr, we always welcome you. We will treat you with the utmost respect, and make sure that you show some love to our three officers, right? Bruce, Bandit, and Bullseye. And with that, just one little favor that I always ask is that if you're going to approach our horse, before you decide to pet them, we've had people who think it's funny to smack the horse or pet the horse.
No.
You know, you got to make sure that you just ask the rider. And by the rider, ask the officer, can I pet your horse? And pet the actual horse, right? That's all I was saying.
I really don't have much. Just, I guess, thank you for the love and support you guys showed on that post. It means a lot.
Thank you guys very much, and hope to see you guys Tuesday, August 5th.
And that's a wrap. Pharr Night Out happening August 5th. Main event grounds. We'll have much more information on our social media platforms. Thank you so much for joining us, our Mounted Patrol unit.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having us.
guys. See you next time.